Hi, this is Jessica Shockness, and I'm here at the Rebel Minded Festival, and I'm standing here with one of the members from Duk Duk Goose, Paco. Thank you for meeting here.
How you doing?
I'm great. You don't have to like duck. I can read it. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, so congratulations on your success of being featured in radio stations and performing at different venues. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, so the name Duk Duk Goose, is that like a metaphor for being like the chosen one? No?
No, it's not even
at
that.
all?
It's kind of like the opposite of that, actually.
Really?
It's more like I think a lot of groups kind of take themselves a little too seriously, and not that we shouldn't take ourselves seriously, but, and a lot of people take themselves too seriously, just in the sense that like I feel like people are afraid to like step out of their shell and just like jump in. You know what I mean? So like whenever you go to shows and stuff, people are standing on the wall like. And
yes.
like people get, especially in New York, like people are afraid to like have fun and just like jump in and do whatever, even if it's kind of silly and stupid, So it originally came from that because we like would perform at parties and stuff, and mostly what we did is like the high energy party music, And so like people started, we were starting to try to get those people who were acting stank in the corner to come in.
Acting stank.
So that was kind of where that name comes from. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like. Yeah, and I mean we do all sorts of kinds of music too. It's not just party music, but that's where the idea came from,
So you basically have an outgoing personality. You just want to show it through your music.
I mean, I might not even have an outgoing personality.
Do you know?
I think my music has an outgoing personality.
Okay.
But yeah,
So you're like a Sasha Fish. You're just hide behind the music, sort of.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so recently you've been compared to the international group Outkast. I think that's phenomenal. Who were your musical inspirations?
I mean, that's a really exciting thing for me because Andre 3000 is like my favorite MC of all time.
Really?
Yeah.
What a coinkydink.
just being somebody who like breaks out of the mold of what he's supposed to be and creates something new and different that just changes the whole game up. You know what I mean? So like artists like that, like I'm a big fan of Slug from Atmosphere. It's kind of from my underground phase, but then Eminem, The Roots.
Okay.
All of those. I think for me, like I tend to do a lot of crazy flows, and so like rappers like Pharoah Monch and Inspect the Deck, like anybody who just has crazy flows in their rhymes, I'm just really a huge fan of. And then in terms of like writing style, I think Andre 3000 and Slug are like two of my biggest influences, just in the way they like bring their stories to life. And like in a way that like they're really rapping their ass off, but at the same time they're still like they get across that feeling and that message, and it doesn't feel like I feel like sometimes people who have like a message feels like they're like banging it over your head, like like learn this about oppression, It's just it's tough. So it's hard to be real and relatable and still bring something like a message to the music side,
How long have you been writing music?
This is something I should know off the top of my head. Probably like 7 years.
Oh, okay. Not that long.
Yeah, not that long. I mean, I used to do before that. I used to do a lot of spoken word stuff.
Oh, okay.
So I do like poetry
So
slam.
it's easy for you to flow into music. Then.
It's surprisingly hard, actually.
Really? Oh my God.
I mean, I don't know. It was in terms of writing.
Right.
It made me a much better writer. But in terms of like the musicality of it, the patterns are different. The rhythm is different. At least from the way I was doing my poetry, that like getting into the hip hop world was a little bit. I mean, for the first year or two, I was just whack. Oh. Terrible.
Thanks for being honest.
As everybody.
Can we listen to some of that stuff? No. Okay.
No.
No.
No, that's not on YouTube anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I used to do a lot of spoken word stuff. I used to go on tour for that. But I relocated. I used to live in Michigan, and I moved to New York. And when I moved to New York,
was that like a culture shock for you coming to New York and writing and?
Yeah. I mean, anytime you move anywhere is a culture shock. I feel like like I was going to college there in Ann Arbor, and then like. So it's a tiny little town, little green lawns. I don't know, but in New York, actually, like compared to Detroit, though, like New York is a lot nicer.
Well, yeah, I mean,
it's definitely a culture.
What I say on the news, but
it's definitely a culture shock. But my whole family's from Detroit, so like it's like that's the city I'm used to. And then there's like Chicago, of course, which is like the nice Midwest city. Right. But I mean, it was a culture shock for sure.
Have you gone back to perform?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know a lot of local Ann Arbor cats who are homies. Tree City, shout out, Man in Charge. Local Michigan acts that you just need to know about, that kind of stuff. One Below.
Well, Thank you, because we need them from Concrete Rose Magazine. So you're just helping them out a little bit. So thank you. Do you have any? Are you writing any? Are you recording any EPs?
Yeah, there's 2 cool projects coming up. So one, there's an album, but you know, with albums, it's always like, all right, so how are we going to get this feature and this video shot and this play? You know, there's like tour stuff getting figured out. So that's kind of like, I don't have a date for the album yet. Another thing that me and DJ Tropic are doing is we're putting together a 20-minute dance mix.
Ooh, that's fantastic.
That's actually still a rap song too. So it's like going to the club and like the DJ's like spinning and doing the drops and like all the other stuff. But in the in-between times, there's going to be like lyrics. So it'll be like it'll be simultaneously like we're trying to go for like you could put this on at your party at your house and people will just be jamming to it all night. But at the same time, it's also like a 20-minute song where you can like relate different pieces of the verses to other parts. So it's something you could listen to just if you're just trying to like think about what you're hearing too. Right. So that's kind of the first project, and it's going to help promote the album, of course.
That's fantastic. So do you know when that's going to be released to the public?
That's going to be late August, and it's going to be
late August, people.
You'll hear pieces of that too, because I run a recording studio.
Okay. And where is that?
It's in Astoria. It's called Dirty Life.
Okay.
Which is inspired by the fact that it's a room in my apartment. I got an extra room and there's a studio in it.
Fantastic.
Like a lot of people do.
Right. Is that just for your personal use, or anybody can come?
That's why I'm introducing it. It's like I'm doing this weekly series called Cypher Sundays.
Okay.
So I invite any artists who are interested in being on that. We shoot a video in the studio.
Right.
We put on some beats, basically like different artists from around the city, or we have some Long Island cats, some Connecticut cats, Massachusetts cats who've driven out, and we just sit in the studio and build and like freestyle and whatever, and then we figure out like a beat we all like, and people could either spit like one of their verses to it, upcoming verse, one of their fan favorites. They could freestyle whatever they want to do to like represent them as an artist, and then we film it, we put it we record it in the studio, and just put that out every Sunday. New episode, new artist every single Sunday. If you do,
so you're busy.
Search hashtag Dirty Life on YouTube. You'll find all of it. Yeah.
Are you affiliated with any other social media, so you can just tell the viewers?
Yeah. So at Duk Goose, everything. DUK Goose, because it's not hip hop if you don't spell it wrong. Not really, but I like saying that.
Okay.
No, so it's at Duk Goose, DUK Goose. You don't got to type the duck twice. And the duckgoose.com, Twitter's at Duk Goose, Instagram at Duk Goose, Facebook is all messed up. It's DD Goose, but you'll figure it out if you type Duk Duk Goose.
Thank you so much, Paco, and enjoy and good luck. You're welcome.